Well, guys, here we are, middle of January, and we're riding. I was talking to my neighbor Dan this weekend about how crazy is this year. This winter has just been crazy.
So, do you like weather?
The coast of Washington and the passes have both been just nailed with weather. Snow, rain, crazy amounts of precipitation and moisture. But on this side of the mountains, it's just, I mean, outside of a few nights below freezing, it's been very mild, and I am here for it. So I figured this weekend be a good weekend to take the bike out, go get some tacos, bring you guys along, and a good opportunity to test the Apache Tour Pack. Make sure it doesn't rattle off, because if it is going to rattle off, I want it to rattle off in town and not somewhere, well, somewhere far away. Feels good. So there's a couple of taco trucks in this local little area. But my favorite by far is La Authentica. And this isn't going to be a Thrashin supply video where I basically, you know, show you guys what I'm eating and all that jazz. I mean, I might. Who knows? But I got hungry. I have a motorcycle. And it is a beautiful mid-January day. So why not? Honestly, it's also been the last two winters here have just been super mild. I'm loving it.
These are their stories.
Definitely not going to that one. Not that I'm wanted or anything, but quick update for you guys. My brother, his wife, and my nephew, their son, obviously, are going to be flying out in late June, early July to come visit us. And my brother, he's the master Harley technician. I think we're going to try to get together on the motorcycles and go on a ride. Now, he can't bring his bike along, obviously, because it's in Pennsylvania, and he ain't shipping it out just for, 2 weeks. But my dad's got a shop full of motorcycles, so it's kind of like, all right, Richard, take your pick, let's go. So hopefully we can get at least 2 rides in, one of which to Leavenworth, Washington.
Where'd you get it?
Leavenworth. You?
Meadow Hills Galleria.
And I talked a little bit about Leavenworth, Washington to you guys last year on this channel about how much I want to go out there. And it's about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours from my house. So not a bad ride at all. But you definitely want to do it in the dead of summer because it is way up there in the mountains. So perfect timing. When my brother gets here, have him get on my old bike, the Electric Glide Ultra Limited, and hopefully we can take off and go to Leavenworth. And I'll bring you guys along, obviously, and it'll be a good time. It is literally the middle of January, and I'm not even wearing winter gloves. I'm wearing like medium weight slightly cold weather gloves, and I feel perfectly fine. Now, granted, I've only been on the bike for about 15 minutes, and I am in town. I'm not going on highway speeds, but this would have been unheard of a couple of years ago. This is just great. Now watch. Now that I say all that, next month it's just going to be nothing but snow. I hope not, but... Tacos, 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 tacos. Everyone likes tacos. And if you don't chew Big Red, then you. Holy bump, Batman. All right, got the burritos. I got my burritos, baby. Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby. Yeah, I met a nice kid at the taco truck. Started talking about bikes. I'm telling you, if you guys are wanting a reason to talk to people, buy a motorcycle. People like to see bikes, and everyone sees a bike that they like and talk about motorcycle stories and what have you. He was a younger kid, and he was talking about that he doesn't have a street motorcycle yet, but he grew up on dirt bikes. And so I was talking to him about some of my first dirt bikes. You know, I had a Suzuki 50, then I moved on to that Yamaha MX100 or DT100, whichever one it looks most like, who knows. But yeah, seemed like a really nice, polite young man. Which is, sadly to say, it's kind of a rarity in this day and age, where you just have a nice, well-mannered, polite young person. But around here, it seems to be more of them than not. And that's a breath of fresh air. Tice was his name, I believe. So, hey Tice, told you to check out the channel if you're watching this. Welcome to YouTube. I figure the more people that we can talk to about our hobby, or I mean, some would say lifestyle, I think the better. I told him to stay on the bikes. So, you know, if you enjoy riding, stick with it and stay on them. Speaking of that, Mozak, if you are watching this video, I am, and I've always been pretty curious about this. And if it's a sore subject, I shall leave it alone and speak no further of it. But why did you leave motorcycling for so long? I'm kind of curious about that. If it was just like, because I get it, you know, I left motorcycling for about 3 years for personal reasons. But yeah, I don't know if I could do it for 20. I mean, 20 or 25 years. I can't remember what Mozak says in his intros, but I think it was 20 years left motorcycles. So yeah, man, if you're willing to talk about it, if it's not a sore subject, that is, I'm just curious. But anyways, I got my burritos, and yes, I said burritos, plural. Don't you judge me. And they are kind of smaller burritos, but either way, we're gonna head back to the garage, eat some burritos, and let's talk about some motorcycles. You know, I honestly do think that I would be able to extend my riding season every year. I mean, not this year, of course. This is some crazy weather we're having this year. But generally speaking, I'm pretty sure I would be able to extend my riding season if I bought heated gloves and a heated jacket. Let me know, you guys, in the comments section below, if you guys have owned electric heated gloves and heated jackets, and what brands do you guys like. I might invest in it. Oh no. Crosswalks. The bane of my existence. So anyways, if you guys are from the local area or want to visit, I don't know why you would, but if you want to visit Okanagan, Washington, and you guys are fiending for a taco, I highly recommend either that one in the parking lot of the IGA grocery store or La Authentica in downtown Omak. They are quite authentica, if I don't say so myself. They are amazing. They do some quesadilla that is to die for. All right, guys, let's open up some burritos. My garage is my happy place, you know? And don't get me wrong, I love other places. But I love this garage. And if I could change one thing about this garage, it would be how the insulation. I think I need to re-insulate it. It gets pretty cold, but as you guys know that there are ways around that. I got a nice propane heater in the corner here, getting work. Adobada. Pretty sure that's how you say it. I've noticed that you just don't say the D or the B or the other D or the other B. Say adobada. And they go, oh, see? Bam, they hook that shit up. Love La Authentica. So, what are we doing here today? We got burritos, we're riding motorcycles, we're in our happy place, which is the garage. It's the middle of January. I thought it would be a good opportunity to do my 1,000 mile, really more like 1,500 mile review of my Thrashin Supply mid-bend bars and Thrashin Supply 6.5 pullback risers. I figured what better way to do a Thrashin Supply parts review. We're getting some street tacos or, you know, taco truck food. So here we are. Hopefully a bunch of you guys watched that video where I installed them. The only critique I have on them that's negative, and I'm going to start with the negatives and I'm going to move into the positives because I want to end on a good note, obviously. Negative number one. Price point. They are very expensive for, you know, you look at their competitors and some of their competitors are half the cost of what Thrashin Supply gives you. But a little bit of that, and this goes with everything. But you guys know as well as I do that you're kind of buying the name at the same time. That's why not a lot of you, and some of you might, and I'm not talking smack. The last time I brought up Honda, I kind of got lit up in the comment section a little bit. A lot of you guys ride Harley Davidsons because of the name. You spend extra to get the American-made bike, mostly, or the American-branded bike, whereas you could spend a third of the money and buy a brand new Honda or a Kawasaki or a BMW. Well, Beamers are pretty pricey, but you get my drift. So with anything with the motorcycle world, and I'm not talking smack about Honda, I'm just saying if I had the choice between Harley and Honda, I'm going to choose Harley. That's just where I am. That's the brand I like. That's what I prefer. So with that being said, one of the negatives is the price point. You're buying the name, but with that name you are getting a positive, and I'll get into that in the positive section of this video. So outside of the price point, the other negative that the only thing that I get, and when I sat down to prepare for this video, I really thought hard about what other negative is there about these things, because there ain't much if there's anything. The only other negative that I can come up with is the cutout template for the gauge bezel. And that's going to be going away anyways soon for me, because I am going to be doing the top triple tree and gauge relocation kit from Thrashin Supply as well. But the template is really difficult to get to line up the first try. I remember I tried a couple of different times and I just said, to hell with it, I'll cut on the outside of the line and have a little bit more room. But yeah, so those are your negatives. Positives are you're buying from Thrashin Supply. They have one of the best customer service departments on the planet. They're amazing. If you have any questions about any of their parts, there's an actual human being that picks up the phone, and that is because they are kind of a smaller company. Now, about spending a little bit extra and why that's kind of a positive in the cons section of this video is because they're a small company and they are not mass producing these things. It's a couple of CNCs and a couple of guys. So you're kind of paying a little bit more because they can't produce the volume that Kurakin or Biltwell are producing. So you're going to pay a little bit more for it. But in my eyes, that's a positive. Okay, so another positive about these Thrashin Supply mid-bend bars and 6.5-inch pullback risers is the fit and finish. They are absolutely amazing. I also purchased the perch clamps, and that also goes back to their customer service. Their customer service is so awesome. When I called the guy up, I was really confused about what they meant with perch clamps needing to be replaced with shorter ones or smaller ones. And the guy walked me through it. He's like, I can email you pictures. I can, if you're near your bike right now, I can kind of walk you through, like, grab this, look here. This is why they won't fit. This is why you need smaller ones. And then the other reason why I love these is because he said, well, what year is your bike? And I said, well, I have a 23 Road Glide ST. I want to make sure that I'm getting absolutely everything I need to do this job and be able to complete it and enjoy it. And he looked up my cable length and said, nope, 6.5-inch pullback risers with this mid-bend bar. You even can roll your bars back or forward. It doesn't matter. You're going to have all the clearance in the world. Don't you worry about it. So their customer service, I cannot speak well enough about. But that's the other part about these. That's another positive about these handlebars, is I literally didn't need to change anything. I other than cutting the gauge bezel holes out for the risers, everything was plug and play. Everything was just super simple and super awesome. I didn't need to extend any of the cables. they know what they're talking about. When they designed these ones, they designed this setup to where you wouldn't need, and I apologize, my bike is a little dirty right now, but they designed it to where you wouldn't need to extend anything. And as you can see, I actually have slack and everything. It's not pulled too tight. So I could actually buy taller risers if I really wanted to. But with this setup, I'm like the exact same, well, I'm like 2 inches taller than one of the owners of Thrashin Supply, and he designed this setup to be perfect for him. But me, it places my arms just below my shoulders. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It actually is perfect height, even for me. Even though I'm a little bit taller than what they say these are designed for, this is perfect for me because it allows me to put my arms, basically I raise them up, this is straight out, and it's a couple of inches down, and it's perfect for longer trips. As you guys know, if you guys go on long trips, if your hands are at your shoulder height or even taller, your hands will actually go numb because the blood is having a hard time pumping uphill that whole time. So this is actually placing my hands downhill, and I already have pretty poor circulation as it is. So this definitely helps me not get that tingly hand feeling. And they've kind of done a little bit of R&D in this department, and they say slightly below shoulder height is actually better for handling, for more aggressive riding. So yeah, there you have it. So you have a couple of negatives, you have a couple of positives, you have way more positives than you do negatives. But I think a really good litmus test for if you like a product is if you would go back and buy it again. And I can confidently say that if I was going to do a handlebar job on this bike again, I would buy the exact same setup. Without a doubt in my mind. That's how you know that you've made the right decision, I think. If you're mature enough to be honest with yourself, because there have been some times where I've bought some things for a bike and it's almost embarrassing if you regret the purchase almost immediately. You're just like, man, I should have thought that through a little bit more. But I've been very lucky, and I've done that before in the past, where I have just had total buyer's remorse when it comes to aftermarket parts for my motorcycle. But in this case, especially with doing the entire modification list on YouTube for you guys, I made definite sure to do all my research as much as possible before purchasing something for this bike and before bolting it on camera. So I've basically done every modification on this bike with you guys watching me, and with that kind of forethought and thought process, okay, if I buy that, I'm gonna have to install it on camera. Okay, do I really want it? Because if I buy it and I don't like it, I'm just gonna have to rip it off, and then people are gonna ask me what happened to it. So that kind of added pressure on me has actually helped me make smarter decisions on buying stuff for this bike. And I can confidently say that this is the best bike I have ever ridden. It performs the best, it's the most comfortable. To me, it looks the best. I couldn't be happier. Loving every minute of it, guys. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, watching my review video, my 1,500 mile review of the Thrashin Supply handlebar setup that I've done. If you guys have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comment section below. If you guys are planning on doing a T-bar setup, and you guys have, and you're doing this setup specifically, and if you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask me. I did a shit ton of research before I installed these bars on this bike, and so I think in doing all that research and installing them, I'm pretty confident that I can help you guys out if you guys are having issues or questions. And if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to me, absolutely feel free reaching out to Thrashin Supply, because they're, like I said in this video, their customer service department is second to none. So thank you guys again for watching my videos. I'm gonna go eat my second burrito. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Take it easy, guys.